Trump administration today issuing sanctions against Russia for meddling in the 2016 U.S. presidential elections. Also accusing Russia of a concerted operation to hack the U.S. energy grid and other critical infrastructure. Those targeted include the 13 Russian nationals and entities recently charged by U.S. Special Counsel Robert Mueller. Growing calls tonight for a second special counsel to investigate Obama-era Department of Justice and FBI corruption. 4 Republican senators, Judiciary Chair Chuck Grassley, Lindsey Graham, John Cornyn, and Tom Tillis, today sent a letter to Attorney General Jeff Sessions saying a special counsel is needed to gather independently the facts and make prosecutorial decisions. The senators say the author of the discredited Trump dossier, former British spy Christopher Steele, misled the FBI, and it's critical to know whether the FBI misled the FISA court in obtaining a warrant to spy on the Trump campaign. Our first guest has been leading the charge for a second special counsel since last summer. Joining me, Congressman Ron DeSantis, a member of several key committees, including Oversight and Government Reform, Foreign Affairs and Judiciary. Congressman, welcome to the program.
Good evening.
Spell it out. Why do we need this second special counsel?
Well, for a couple reasons. One, the Department of Justice just can't investigate itself. It has a conflict if it's being called upon to investigate the actions of high-ranking officials, ranging from Jim Comey to Andrew McCabe to people like Bruce Orr at the Department of Justice. The other reason is, look, there's evidence that federal statutes may have been violated here. You look at Christopher Steele and whether he was honest with the FBI. You look at somebody like Jim Comey, who leaked his memos, one of which very likely included classified information. So I think if you look at this from the start of the Hillary investigation, taking it through that conclusion, through the so-called Russia investigation, all the way through the appointment of Robert Mueller, yes, the FISA abuses are a big part of that, but I don't think it's exclusive to that.
It's the only way to get at the truth, correct? But the problem with it is it stretches out over a long, long period of time. So this is round the country's neck for a long time to come.
Well, here's the issue, though, Stuart, is Sessions initially said he was going to appoint the Inspector General. The Inspector General would work much slower than an actual special counsel because the Inspector General doesn't have subpoena power to bring people in outside the department. So he wouldn't be able to bring in Christopher Steele or Comey or McCabe when McCabe officially is either fired or leaves the department. So you would actually get it done quicker. And then also, yes, there have been special counsels that have kind of run amok, but that's the fault of the people who are supervising the special counsel. There's nothing to say that you can't give a special counsel very narrow grounds and say, look at all this stuff, charge people if they violated the law, and if not, stop. We don't want it to be a fishing expedition. That's what the Mueller thing has become, and that is not good. I agree, but it does not have to be that way.
Who makes the call? Who says, yes, there will be that special counsel?
The Attorney General of the United States, Jeff Sessions.
Okay. And do you expect him to say, yes, here comes the special counsel?
Well, he's moving in that direction. I think he should have said yes a long time ago. He's announced that he's appointed a prosecutor from outside of D.C. who's within the Department of Justice. I don't know if that's considered a special counsel or not. It can be considered that. So I don't know if he's gone all the way, but clearly he's gone further than he was willing to go just a couple weeks ago. So in that sense, I'm somewhat encouraged. But now that he's got 4 very significant U.S. senators writing to him, I hope he'll just do the right thing, get somebody from outside the swamp, put him in there, and let's finally get the truth. And if people violated the law, they need to be held accountable.
Congressman, news today that Robert Mueller has subpoenaed the Trump Organization to turn over documents. Before you talk about this, I want to read this from the New York Times. It said their breathless statement of what's going on. It is the first known time the special counsel has ordered the documents directly related to the president's business be turned over. What do you make of this?
Well, it's hard to know because obviously we don't know what they're all doing. But I think if you look at this investigation, all the charges that have been brought have nothing to do with the Trump campaign and collusion. It's things that happened either long before the campaign, like with Paul Manafort, or it's been process crimes, people like Michael Flynn and Papadopoulos. And so to me, because when Rosenstein appointed Mueller, he didn't identify a crime to investigate. He basically just said investigate links between Trump's campaign Ukraine and Russia, that pretty much gave Mueller a mandate of, hey, just find something. So I think this is part and parcel of that. He's just trying to find something. That's not the way prosecutions or investigations are supposed to go. There should be a basis for doing it, and I'm just not sure that that's the case here.
Otherwise, it's just a grand fishing expedition. I think that's what we're seeing. But let me go back to Jeff Sessions. He is considering, that's the use of the word there, considering whether to fire McCabe at the FBI. Can you spell out for our audience what Mr. McCabe is allegedly been up to?
So the Inspector General, who's been investigating how the Hillary case was handled for over a year now, we want that report soon. His conclusions is that McCabe was engaged in misconduct during the course of that investigation. And his recommendation, this is a nonpartisan IG, he has recommended that McCabe be fired. And so my view is if that is what the Inspector General is recommending, if in fact you think McCabe has committed misconduct, then I think Sessions needs to fire him, because the American public are sick of people in government. They're not held accountable. But you can bet your bottom dollar if a citizen got out of line, people like McCabe and the FBI would be the first one to pounce on them.
Mr. Sessions has a lot of he's got a lot of big decisions to take, and that's a fact, and take them soon. Congressman Ron DeSantis, a pleasure, and thank you very much for joining us, sir.